Welcome to The Brass and the Truth, and to our first long video on YouTube. In today's video, we will teach to you all the U.S. Army command structure and the responsibilities of each commands. The Army commands are divided into three sections: Army Commands, Army Services Component Commands, and Direct Reporting Units. Starting off with Army Commands, we have the Army Futures Command, or AFC. Headquartered out of Austin, Texas. AFC, modernize the Army for the future, integrate the future operational environment, develop and deliver future force requirements, design future force organizations, and deliver material capabilities. Their focuses are on long-range precision fires, next-generation combat vehicle, future vertical lift, air and missile defense, network and lethality. Next is the Army Material Command, or AMC. AMC is headquartered at Redstone Arsenal, Alabama, and they provide superior technology, acquisition support, and logistics to ensure dominant land force capability for soldiers, the United States, and our allies. Forces Command, mostly commonly known as FORSCOM, is the main combat arm of the U.S. Army and the largest command. FORSCOM trains, mobilizes, deploys, sustains, transforms, and reconstitutes assigned conventional forces, providing relevant and ready land power to combatant commanders. They're located at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Lastly, we have Training and Doctrine Command, most commonly referred to as TRADOC. They recruits, trains, and educates the Army soldiers, develops leaders, supports training in units, develops doctrine, establishes standards, and builds the future Army. TRADOC is located at Fort Eustis, Virginia. The next section we have is the Army Service Component Commands. First we have U.S. Army Cyber Command. U.S. Cyber is an operational level force and headquartered at Fort Eisenhower, Georgia. Their mission is to directs and conducts integrated electronic warfare, cyberspace, and information operations as authorized or directed, to ensure freedom of action in and through cyberspace and the information environment, and to deny the same to our adversaries. Surface Deployment and Distribution Command, or SDDC, is located at Scott Air Force Base, Illinois. The SDDC provides integrated and synchronized global deployment and distribution capabilities to the point of need, delivering innovative transportation solutions on time, on target, every time. With the mission to plan, coordinate, and synchronize global end-to-end deployment and distribution services to project and sustain our nation's warfighters in support of national objectives. Next, U.S. Army Central, who is the land domain experts in the Middle East, Central Asia, and South Asia. They provide continuous oversight and control of U.S. Army operations throughout the region. Their mission: provide enduring support to the Joint Force, sets and maintains the theater, and leads building partner capacity mission sets to secure U.S. and allied interests in the CENTCOM area of responsibility. On order, USARCENT transitions to a Coalition Forces Land Component Command, CFLCC, to dominate in conflict. Their home base is Shaw AF Base, South Carolina. U.S. Army Europe and Africa is based out of Wiesbaden, Germany, with the following objective: provide ready, combat-credible land forces to deter, and, if necessary, defeat aggression from any potential adversary in Europe and Africa, along with conducting training exercises with U.S. allies in Europe and Africa. Next, we have U.S. Army North, who conducts multi-domain operations in support of U.S. Northern Command in order to detect, deter, and defeat threats to the homeland, and conducts defense support of civil authorities and theater security cooperation initiatives to defend the United States and its interests. They're located at Fort Sam Houston, Texas. One of the larger commands in this section is U.S. Army Pacific, or USARPAC, or Fort Shafter, Hawaii. They provide the Joint Force with decisive integrated land power to consolidate gains across a joint campaign to deter, transition, and respond to natural and man-made crises, and prevail in conflict in the most consequential region for America's future, in the Pacific. The last of the region command is U.S. Army South out of Fort Sam Houston, Texas. They enables multi-domain operations by identifying, exposing, and degrading malign influence, setting the theater, and conducting security cooperation operations and activities in the U.S. Southern Command area of responsibility as part of integrated deterrence towards threats to the U.S. homeland. On order, provides a joint task force-capable headquarters to respond to emergent requirements and tasked contingency plans in Central and South America and the Caribbean. U.S. Army Space and Missile Defense Command out of Huntsville, Alabama, provides continuous oversight, control, integration, and coordination of Army forces supporting both commands. USASMDC also supports the United States Northern Command by defending the United States against a ballistic missile attack. Lastly, in this section, is U.S. Army Special Operations Command, or USASOC. Located at Fort Bragg, North Carolina with the mission to organize, train, educate, man, equip, fund, administer, mobilize, deploy and sustain Army Special Operations forces to conduct successful worldwide special operations across the range of military operations in support of regional combatant commanders, American ambassadors, and other agencies as directed. Lastly, we have the Direct Reporting Units, or DRUs. The first one is Arlington National Cemetery. Out of Arlington, Virginia, they lay to rest those who have served our nation with dignity and honor, while maintaining these hallowed grounds befitting the sacrifice of all those who rest here in quiet repose. Army Test and Evaluation Command, or ATEC, is the next unit. They're located at Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland, and they report directly to the Chief of Staff of the Army. ATEC plans, integrates, and conducts experiments, developmental testing, independent operational testing, and independent evaluations and assessments to provide essential information to acquisition decision-makers and commanders. Civilian Human Resources Agency is located at Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland as well. Their mission is to provide the full range of human resources services to support a highly skilled and ready professional civilian workforce that supports national defense. A major DRU is Human Resource Command, most commonly known as HRC, is headquartered at Fort Knox, Kentucky. HRC executes distribution, strategic talent management, personnel programs, and services Army-wide in order to optimize total force personnel readiness and strengthen an agile and adaptive Army. Intelligence and Security Command, or INSCOM. INSCOM executes mission command of operational intelligence and security forces, conducts and synchronizes worldwide multidiscipline and all-source intelligence and security operations, and delivers linguist support and intelligence-related advanced skills training, acquisition support, logistics, communications, and other specialized capabilities in support of Army, Joint, Coalition Commands, and the intelligence community. They're located at Fort Belvoir, Virginia. Next we have Military District of Washington, or MDW, out of Fort McNair, D.C. The unit reports directly to the Chief of Staff of the Army. Their responsibility is the geographical command of the National Capital Region, NCR. Another major DRU is Medical Command, or most commonly referred to as MedCom. Stationed out of Fort Sam Houston, Texas, they provide medical, dental, and veterinary capabilities to the Army and designated DoD activities, operates fixed facilities, conducts medical research, material development and acquisition, educates and trains personnel, and develops medical concepts, doctrine, and systems to support Army healthcare delivery. The Military Postal Service Agency in Arlington, Virginia is a jointly staffed organization. MPSA is responsible for achieving efficient and responsive processing, transportation, and distribution of personal and official mail throughout DoD. U.S. Army Acquisition Support Center reports to the Assistant Secretary of the Army. USOSC supports the readiness of the Army by continually improving the Army's capability through all stages of material development, developing a professional acquisition workforce, and supporting the acquisition community at all levels. They're headquartered out of Fort Belvoir, Virginia. A well-known DRU is the Army Corps of Engineers, or USACE. They provide engineering services and capabilities in support of national interests out of their office in Washington, D.C. The investigating arm of the Army is the U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Division, mostly commonly known as CID. Their home station is Quantico, Virginia, where they conduct sensitive or special interest investigations as directed by the Secretary of the Army or the Chief of Staff of the Army. Plans for and provides personal security, protective services for DoD and Department of the Army officials as designated by the Secretary of the Army or the Chief of Staff of the Army. Provides criminal investigative support to all Army elements including forensic support, maintains overall responsibility for Army investigations of controlled substances, conducts and controls all Army investigations of serious crimes, less serious crimes, upon request, or as necessary for effective Army law enforcement, and fraud, and other crimes arising in Army procurement activities. The U.S. Army War College, or the War College, produces graduates to be skilled critical thinkers and complex problem solvers in the global application of land power. The goal is to provide high-quality professional military education, aggressively conduct research, publish, engage in discourse, and wargame with the entire faculty, staff, students, and fellows, conduct strategic leader development, and attract, recruit, and retain a high-quality faculty and staff. Lastly, we have one of the most famous universities in the country and organizations in the military, the United States Military Academy, or most famously known as West Point. The mission of the USMA is to educate, train, and inspire the Corps of Cadets so that each graduate is a commissioned leader of character committed to the values of duty, honor, country, and prepared for a career of professional excellence and service to the nation as an officer in the United States Army. The campus is located at West Point, New York, and the Academy reports to the Chief of Staff of the Army. Thank you all for listening. We begin this new series with the purpose to teach others on YouTube about the military, ranging from the units, the types of units, awards, and so on. Feel free to comment below with your suggestions. Lastly, please like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss another video and one of our regular podcast episodes. See you next time on The Brass and the Truth.
Oh,